Most people consider life a battle, but it is not a battle. It is a game. You can grind, hustle, and push as hard as you can, but if you don't change what's in the mind, it will only bring more and more frustration. The game is mental. The winners are not necessarily the hardest working, but they are the ones who carry the strongest frequencies. This is 5 rules of the game of reality. Play the game by its rules, and you will not fail to create the reality you desire. Everything in your reality is a byproduct of your self-concept. It is the foundation upon which your whole game runs on. Your results can never exceed the limits of the identity you assign to yourself. It is the absolute ceiling of how far you can go. Therefore, if you aim for great things in your life, you have to first make sure that your identity is capable of achieving them. Every slightest behavior, choice, and response is a reflection of a deeply rooted self-image permeating your subconscious mind. The way you think, act, and react, your posture, tone, and how you dress, what you tolerate, the standards you live by, and the boundaries you set for yourself. It is all coming from who you intuitively consider yourself to be. Your identity cannot be outrun. You can work as hard as possible to create your desired reality, yet eventually, your unfit identity will catch up with you and sabotage everything you are building. This is the reason why most New Year's resolutions fail. The body persists while the mind stays in the same place. A person can go to the gym for a couple of weeks, sometimes even months, but eventually that old identity of being unfit catches up and pulls them right back in. Once your conscious willpower has no energy left to hold the change any longer, the subconscious mind takes the wheel and automatically drives you back to the state that matches your deeply rooted identity. The good news is your identity is not fixed. The chosen one is simply the one who chose himself. With any goal that you want to accomplish, the first thing you have to make sure of is that you are already in a state of being for it to work, before you even attempt it. You have to construct an identity that is fully capable of creating the reality you desire, align your state of being with it, and later, simply act it into existence. The mental part is the foundation, because once it is done correctly, the physical will come naturally, just like breathing or blinking. The point is not to think about that version of you as some kind of future-oriented idea, dream, goal, or plan, because this way you only distance yourself from it. Needing always creates a mental barrier between you and the thing you want. The point is to cut the middleman between who you are currently and who you envision yourself to be, and simply run with it. You no longer operate from the position of lack, but from the embodiment of already having it. Once your identity and desired reality become one, you will no longer have to force yourself to do things. You will be naturally compelled to do them. The game is not about forcing yourself to work harder, but internally shifting to a degree where work becomes automatic. Attention is the currency with which you order the reality you experience. You can either waste it on the past and stay forever stuck in it, or invest in the future and create the reality of your own making. Only when you possess the capability of investing your attention can you transform your mind from a record of the past to a roadmap for the future. Every single second, your brain receives millions of bits of information, but your conscious mind can only process a tiny fraction of it. What determines which ones go through? Your attention. Your attention acts as a filter for reality. Out of the infinite possibilities surrounding you, It selects only the pieces of information that match the internal blueprint of who you consider yourself to be and what you expect to experience. Two people can witness exactly the same thing, but walk away with entirely different experiences, not because of what they saw, but what aspects of it they paid attention to. The patterns of your subconscious mind calibrate themselves like a shopping algorithm. What you repeatedly pay for with your focus gets prioritized and amplified. Focus on lack and the algorithm shows you more reasons to feel stuck. Focus on opportunity and the algorithm shows you more paths to progress. The key is realizing that the only things that can influence you in any way are the things you decide to pay your attention to. The moment you can consciously redirect your attention, you have the power over what exists in your reality. What you don't fund with your focus can't afford to exist. Attention is actually the first domino in the chain reactions that lead to frequency. Wherever you put your focus to, your energy follows. That emotional charge, if maintained long enough, becomes a vibrational frequency. And by the universal law, every frequency must become a reality. The universe does not respond to intention, it responds to attention. This is the reason why there are so many people having massive aspirations, yet only a tiny fraction of them ever achieve them. You can be the most ambitious, talented, and hardworking individual alive, but if you don't have the capability to direct and sustain your attention, your energy will remain scattered, and your reality will reflect that chaos. While attention sets the stage for a new potential, it's your emotional engagement with it that brings it to life. Emotion is the language of the universe. No idea can be expressed physically unless it is first felt. It's the emotional charge behind a thought that makes it impactful, not mindless repetition. While the bare thought exists only in your conscious mind, the emotionally charged ones permeate your subconscious. The moment you intensely feel something to be the truth, you stamp it on the subconscious mind, which quite literally steers your behaviors in physical reality. Your subconscious mind does not understand logic, reason, or intention. It knows only what it had repeatedly felt before and will do everything it can to reiterate those feelings in physical reality. If your emotional baseline is fear, there is a great chance that your fears will find a way to come true, not because they were justified, but because you will unconsciously draw these fears onto you. Your subconscious mind is responsible for about 95% of your thoughts, behaviors, and decisions. The impulses to act, the way you react, the urges you follow, they're not random. They are all byproducts of the emotional conditioning your subconscious was programmed with. Your day-to-day routines, your choices, your automatic habits, all are built upon what you have emotionally experienced. The good news is, just as years of repeating the same emotional patterns programmed your subconscious to run on the autopilot, you can also reprogram it intentionally with a train of thought. Your subconscious cannot distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. To it, an intensely imagined experience carries the same emotional weight as an actual one. That's why when you relive a painful memory, your body produces the same chemicals as if it's happening right now. And that's also why when you vividly imagine the reality you desire, you can immerse yourself in the emotional state of already living it. And this way, you can literally install that version of reality into your subconscious blueprint. Make a sensory experience. See it, hear it, feel it. Over time, your nervous system adapts, your subconscious recalibrates, and the body responds. The belief in itself is a particular viewpoint of reality that your subconscious mind accepts as truth. Once accepted, it will filter out all your behaviors to match that very concept it internalized. A person who believes they are unattractive will unconsciously dim their own light, acting in ways that make them unattractive. A person who believes success is not for people like them will reject possibilities before they even try. A person who believes they're bad with money will automatically repel opportunities, overspend, or avoid risks that could change their life. The internalization of a belief essentially lies in repeating a particular viewpoint so many times that it sinks deep into the subconscious mind and solidifies as truth. Every time you spot a belief that no longer serves you, flip it upside down. Redirect your attention to the opposite perspective, emotionally engage with it, and with enough repetition, you can reprogram the subconscious and rewrite your deeply rooted perception of truth. While a belief sets the foundation, just believing will never be enough to materialize your desired reality. What really commands the universe is conviction, not just believing something can be real, but knowing it already is. It's about internally shifting to such a degree that you no longer need anything external to happen in order to feel complete, because internally you're already there. To truly shift realities, you need to quite literally convince your subconscious mind that your desired reality is more real than your current one, and the only way to do this is by spending more time internal than external. You have to marinate your subconscious in that reality day in and day out. Utilize your imagination. Immerse yourself in the vivid scenarios of you already living that reality. See your loved ones congratulating you on this achievement. Saturate it so deeply that your nervous system begins to normalize the desired experience as your new baseline. The moment you can convince your subconscious to operate from a point where it already exists, the whole game changes. Your actions are no longer an attempt to make it happen, but a materialization of what had already happened on the subconscious level. From there, your behaviors, perceptions, and automatic impulses begin to reorganize themselves to support this new internal truth, without you having to consciously force it. After you have been there 1,000 times in your mind, you no longer have to convince yourself that it's real. You know it is. Place yourself ahead mentally, and the physical reality will catch up. If you are ready to take your game to the next level, I created an entire playbook containing everything you need to know to bridge the gap between imagination and execution. Based on the lives of figures who turned the most delusional visions into a reality, it will give you practical steps you can gradually follow.